I don't want my nipples to talk to you. Not that they got much to say, but you know.
That's what you're here for.
Well, I knew I was here for a party, but I didn't know what kind of party it was going to be.
It'd be a nipple party. So, thanks for joining us here on Crash and Chugg, and I don't even have my damn headphones on.
It's quite the professional, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so this is the first time using this equipment, so let's see how it goes. We got the backup, but yeah. So thanks for joining us on Crash and Chugg. I know it's been a minute since we put any podcasts out. We've been trying to do too many things at once, but before we kind of get started, we'd like to send our thoughts to the families of Uvalde, Buffalo, and every other tragic event that's happened with that incurs violence. Don't really want to get too much into that. The details are still unfolding, and they'll probably be unfolding for the next 3 or 4 months, depending on who's putting out the message or what have you. So just stand by on that. But to the families, thoughts and prayers go out to you guys. Yeah, but yeah. So I got my brother here, Charlie. Do you want to go by Charlie or the other?
You can call me what you want, just don't call me late for dinner. So
there you go. Well, we just had dinner. What'd you think about those burgers?
They were all right. Kind of bloody. I mean, one said moo to me, but it's all right. They went down good.
Yeah. Was it really red?
No, I'm
just
okay. I'm just trying to make fun of everything right
Yeah,
now.
I got you.
When people look at me on this camera, they're gonna say, "God damn, that dude's big son of a bitch." Right?
Nah, I seen bigger.
I'm a little bit quirky, as they said.
Quirky.
Corpulent.
Corpulent.
The $5 word of the day. Corpulent.
I might have to. Yeah, I'm not good at Scrabble, so I might have to go look that up.
That might be a 20 point word right there. Shit.
Yeah, shit. I know.
I can't say it, but I can't spell it.
Yeah. You know Javi, right?
Oh yeah.
He's really good at Scrabble. I don't want to say he's good at it, but he does play it a lot, so he's probably better than me.
The one thing I know about Javi, I know he cheats a lot. I mean, I ain't gonna say it. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, Javi.
Yeah, he definitely likes to play the slots and stuff. He's definitely a lot luckier than I am.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't. It's rare that I win anything at any type of raffle or anything. However, I did win. Damn, I hit the mic. I did win a raffle for. I think it's for a crossbow. I sent you a picture of it.
Oh yeah. Well, you actually won also for the Black Rifle. Remember?
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. It was like a whole kit. It had some sights in there. It had a.
Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty cool.
And honestly, I'm so ignorant to it that I don't even know what half that shit does.
Well,
so
it's easy. That's a good part about getting stuff. You actually do a little research on it, and then if you do get a crossbow or a cross, you can put it on there, and then you already have your stuff ready to go.
And that's gonna be my next step, because I know one of the things you suggested to me, and I really want to try to learn archery is. You recommended either a Longbow or a Recurve, which I bought the Recurve.
Yeah, you start with the Recurve, that's how I started, but I'm still learning as I am. I'm not a professional, nor do I say I am, but I'd like to get myself in anything that actually can provide, meat on the plate for my family or myself, because it's a self-gratification when you actually get an animal down and just harvest it. Yeah,
and that's what I hear, and I went hunting with you that one time, and it was cool. Like, I really don't mind, sitting there. When I was younger, I couldn't do that shit. I couldn't sit still and wait, but that maybe that's just me being young and dumb. But the last time we went and we sat there and we were just kind of just there, kind of talking to ourselves. That was pretty cool, man. And we saw those, were they axis deer?
Yeah, axis deer popped out for a little bit and then took off.
Yeah. So, but that whole experience was cool. I mean, even though we didn't get anything. But that's kind of what I want to learn is, I want to be more self-sufficient. And that's one of the things, I want to learn is, I know archery is probably, one of the hardest things.
It's one of the hardest things, but actually is the most self-gratifying thing.
I bet. Well. Do you think it's because, you have to work so hard for it?
It's not so much. Actually, yeah, you have to work at it. At the same time, you're not 100 yards away from an animal. Sometimes you're almost 3 feet or a foot away, depending at the location at the time when the animal pops out. Because when I shot my first hog, I was with my cousin Joe, and we're hunting outside of Atascosa, and
it's my cousin too, puto.
Well,
no, I'm just joking.
Well, I'm so very sorry.
I'm just messing with you, man.
As the story went on, sir.
Yeah.
Before I was really interrupted. No, but we're both in the blind, and the hog came almost a foot away from us. The only thing separated us from the hog was that sheet of the pop-up line, which is not anything. It's almost thinner than the screen. And then your adrenaline is so up, and you see the animal in front of you, and you're like, I want to hit it, I want to hit it. But at the same time, you have to be patient to get the right shot. Unfortunately, I got lower anxious. I shot over him, and to see the animal react and turn around and see where the shot came from, at the same time, still trying to reload another arrow in, and trying to get your sights back on him, and then actually hitting him. It's self-gratifying because you see the arrow go, you see it penetrate the animal, you see the animal's reaction, you see it take off, and then your heart is just racing. It's the best feeling in the world because you know that all the practice you did actually came out on that shot. Because without practice, without any kind of setting up for shots or just shooting at random, you're never going to get the self-gratification as you do as that shot goes in the animal. You see it penetrate, you see blood come out, and then you're watching where the animal goes. Your heart's racing, you're like, oh man, I got it. And you've seen other videos where kids or other hunters shoot the animal they want. You know how they get like a little kid, they get excited, they almost get shaky because it's a beautiful thing.
The adrenaline that's running.
The adrenaline is up because that is the most, like I say, I'm going to probably using this word to myself, gratifying because you got the animal.
Right.
You shot it. Now, you got to wait. And hopefully the animal stays in that one spot you see it, because sometimes you shoot an animal, especially with the bow or a gun, and then you have to wait for it to pass. And sometimes you get a little anxious, you go to see if the animal is passed, and it's not. It takes off or it lunges at you, so you got to be prepared for anything.
Speaking of adrenaline, yeah, the animal is like, well, if it's got something left in it too.
Oh yeah, believe me, it's like it's a corner animal. I mean, if it sees the opportunity to get back, she's gonna get
right,
back.
Right. Especially a hog.
Oh, a hog, yeah, a hog, any animal like that.
Yeah.
Because if you can get on a deer and say it's a buck, and you get too close and it's still got some energy, it fucking spears at you and it gets that.
Just gore you, right?
Gore you with that antler, and I mean, it's a whole different story because especially if you're by yourself. You know, I know a lot of people go hunting by themselves, but I wouldn't recommend it because if something should happen, there's not somebody there to help you.
Right.
Get to safety or call for someone to help you out. You know what I mean? You'll be out there on your own, and
right.
Then you're stuck in a different.
Yeah.
You're stuck in a different hell. But I always go hunting with our cousin, another friend. We always go hunting in threes most of the time, and then I do love the time you do go out there with me. You know what I mean? Because I am teaching you, but at the same time you're learning.
Yeah.
I'm not, but like I said, I'm not no world renowned hunter.
Right.
I just like to get out there and do what I can.
Shit, you know more than me, so that's at least city renowned. You know what I mean? I definitely have no qualms about asking, like, if I don't know how to do it, especially if I'm gonna take an animal's life. You know, I don't want to fuck it up and then have the animal suffer any longer than it has to, which is why I damn near every day I go back there and I you know, it's probably like 20 yards to warm up, and then it's probably push it out to like 30 or whatever.
Well,
and
that's good. You know, I mean, 20 to 30 yards is a good thing to start. It's always a good. You know, you're good from 30 yards. You know, I mean, you can always rely on like Recurve that you're good for 30 yards.
Yeah.
There's other avid hunters like Brian the Pigman. He can shoot 80 yards
Yeah.
with the compound, and that's a hell of a shot with the compound.
Yeah, it's like I follow Cameron Haynes. That dude's a fucking animal, man.
Yeah.
You ever follow him? Or see him, his stuff?
I've seen a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, I pick up a lot of stuff from different hunters. You know, I mean, what they do, how they do stuff, and I try to implement what I do.
Right.
Just trying to get the edge.
Right.
Because nobody ever gets the edge.
Right.
If it's the animal's going to come to eat there, or it just happens to cross your path, then you got lucky to get that animal.
So so you kind of just hit the nail on the head. I mean, there is a lot of luck involved, but at the same time, it's also like, you know, knowing where the animal is. That's one thing I learned watching that. So it's like Cameron Haynes, and then I think I'm saying his name right. And then Steve Ranella on that show that I talked to you about. What was it called?
On Netflix, right?
Yeah, I forget the name of it.
Meat Eater or something.
Meat Eater, yeah. So you kind of you talked about like part of the process of. So let me say two things. So you talked about some of the process, right? The excitement of it, the preparation for it, that entire process, and then how did you feel when you took down the boar and then you got to it? Was there any type of like I don't know, like sadness or guilt, or was it just like?
No,
because that's what I hear.
Well, some people do have remorse, but me, at the same, I think of as an animal. You know, what I mean, that God provides that here for us to take, to harvest it, to eat, to provide food for the family.
Right.
So anytime I do take down an ammo and I harvest it, me and our cousin, we always say a quick prayer.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus, for providing this harvest for us.
So there is some type of like,
A
respect or ritual around
there has
it.
to be respect.
Yeah.
Because, not anybody can do what we do. There's a lot of people nowadays that rely on the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And, if something, for example, worst case scenario, the world collapses.
COVID,
yeah.
yeah,
COVID.
that was a
And
prime example.
Yeah, COVID, and there's no more Uber Eats. They can deliver
Right.
food to you. You have to go out there and provide for your family. And not too long ago, we had a snowstorm area that shut the city
I remember that.
for 4 days. So people were dying. Well, not dying, but they were going a little bit. They were going a little bit crazy for the fact that
You can move a little closer if you want.
Yeah, they were going a little bit crazy because they were
Like towards you if you want.
They were going a little bit crazy for just
Sorry.
the sole fact that they didn't have food. The food was spoiling in the refrigerator. Little did they realize, they could put the food outside, and the cold as it was outside, it wouldn't hurt it.
Right.
It would actually preserve it. But at the same time, I'm looking at my neighbors, and they're traveling down the street, they're coming back and forth, and they're just looking like in disbelief. They can't find anything, and then they're looking at me and they're freaking out because I'm in my garage. I have my generator. I'm on a hot plate. I'm cooking eggs, bacon for the family inside, providing for my family, and they're all looking like, "What the hell's going on with this guy?"
Yeah.
Then later on in the day, still had no electricity. We didn't have electricity for 4 days. I got in the grill. I cooked some of the hog.
Yeah.
Ate some of the hog. Thank God for that, for having that hog.
Yeah,
in there,
no
to having
kidding.
deer. I did have an abundance of meat, a wild game. Also, what was left in the refrigerator, I put it all outside to preserve it. And I had milk, I had everything. I didn't lose anything. And I was privileged because the stuff that I've watched on TV, stuff that I learned from awful people, have helped me to get to this point where when a crisis like that hit, I was good. I say I would probably be good for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
Because I had enough gas, I had my generator, I had the provisions to provide for my family.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
That's good, man. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to I wanted to always kind of get into, not always, but when I retired, that's one of the things I wanted to pick up just to be more self-sufficient. But if events like that kind of drove home the point, like, hey, you need to get off your ass and fucking learn. And not only that, like, you also need to kind of, be fit in case you need to move or whatever. You can, or you know how to move or whatever.
Well, needless to say, I can't move as once as I could as I used to. I got bad hip, I got a lot of stuff going on with me. But at that moment, you got to do what you got to do, especially if you're right for your family. You can't sit at home. Oh, I can't do anything because then you got to worry. Well, my son's not gonna eat.
Right.
My wife's not gonna eat. You need to start watching for them because you're replaceable in a heartbeat. Because if things get better, your wife can always find somebody else.
Right. So I need to find somebody that can hunt. Yeah.
Exactly. But the good thing about knowing what I know a lot because of our cousin and stuff that I've learned watching other people do and stuff I've seen on TV and
Right.
just doing research. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do what you can do hunting, but at least knowing some things does help you.
Right.
Like a lot of people like to, how can I put it? They like to plot food plots where they're hunting. Why? They put the food plots there because the deer will come and eat.
Got you.
If they always know there's food there, and then you got a feeder nearby, when the food plot gets decimated by them, they know the corn's there. So they're always coming around because they always know there's food. So it's always causing a pattern
Got
for them
you.
to come around back and forth because there's always going to be food there. And that's what we do in Rock Springs. So the ranch I go hunting with our buddies, there's Steve and Joe, and of course you and our cousin Frank also. We feed year round. There's always food. There's always food there, just so we can keep the animals coming around. Now, needless to say, we go every weekend to go out hunting and get something, but we like to go at least twice a month, or
Right.
Can't go in the summer because it's hot as hell, but we still go out there and sweat our ass off to see what we can get. But
Right.
it's a good thing to go out there and just decompress. Even if you don't get anything, getting out to the woods is good because you decompress from the stress of life, and you're just out there with nature, hearing its calls. Especially at night, it's got some interesting.
Yeah, you were
noises.
telling me you hear some crazy shit.
Oh yeah,
which is
we have has a blind on top of the hill, and it stands about, I'm gonna say about 8 feet up in the air, and where the door's at. And I'm saying about 1 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden there's a big old slam on the back of the door, and there's only one way in and one way out. So the noise hits you like, what the hell's going on?
Is that the blind we're in?
Yeah, that's the blind we're in. So
Got you.
I'm even by myself. I'm like, oh shit. So I turn around, I got my handgun with me. I got my knife with me. I got everything.
Right.
I ain't gonna go down without a fight, but
Your
just
teeth, everything.
everything. Whatever it's got to go, it's got to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out with a bang. Let me tell you that. But it's kind of surprising because I don't know what's out there, We do hear noises. There's stuff that I can't explain.
Right.
There's stuff that's happened out there. And I'm pretty sure every hunter's got a story, that they can't explain itself. But, it doesn't stop us from doing what we do. We still go out there because eventually, if it's Sasquatch, hey, guess what? If I'm able to knock that motherfucker on the ground with the shot, I'm going to knock him down.
Yeah.
I'm going to be famous for 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One for shooting it, and then I'm going to probably go to jail for killing it.
Right.
But either way, I still got a story to tell either side, in jail or outside.
You killed the endangered Sasquatch.
It's okay. He's a good mount.
Yeah, that would be crazy to have that as a mount.
That would be now. I don't think they would do it, but just having a picture with it, it would sell itself.
Yeah, I heard. I watched a documentary. I think it was called Four Peaks or 12 Peaks. I think it was about a Nepalese badass. Really, dude. He went. It's on Netflix. You can check it out. But he went through. He was a special forces Nepalese, like for the French. I might be fucking this up, but he was special forces for and he talks about like what happened to him when they were fighting someone and he got sniped and it knocked off his scope, like or it hit him in the head or something. I forget what happened, but it fucked him up pretty bad. But he stayed out there. Fast forward, he and I'm not minimizing that shit at all. It's crazy shit, but I really don't want to fuck it up too bad because I don't remember all the details. So, but overall, like he used that money, like he got out of the military ahead of time, and then he caught a lot of shit from his family because he was their
breadwinner.
Yeah, pretty much. So he was using the money from that. So they were
surviving on his
exactly.
Bread. Okay.
He was the provider, like primary provider. And like for his mom and like his brother or somebody, I don't know, because it's a very small, like in Nepal.
Okay.
They got the industry. You're either a shepherd or a Sherpa, or whatever else the industry is there. It's not a whole lot of opportunities, is what I'm saying. And so I guess he got intrigued because somebody asked him like, "Have you ever been up Mount Everest?" And he was just like, "No, I've never been up Mount Everest." He just been to the base of it, but he never climbed it. So he was like, "How come I've never gone? Well, how come I've never climbed it? It's like my backyard pretty much." So I guess he went back. No, I guess, but he climbed it, and then he was talking about like this work ethic he had, all this training he would do before, because he wanted to join the special forces. So he kind of gained that work ethic, did all these badass things in the military. Got out like at 16 years or whatever it is the time, like it was like 4 or 5 years before he was supposed to retire, and then he would have been set. His family would have been set, but he left all that, and then he tried to do something miraculous, and that was climb 12 of the highest peaks in the world.
Wow!
Like within fucking 6 months or some shit. It was something ridiculous. Like, and the last person to do that many peaks was like, I don't know, it took him like 10 or 12 years because of weather and all this shit.
Of course.
I forgot where the fuck I'm going with that, but
it's just endurance. If a person has a mindset that they want to do it and they have that drive, there's nothing that can stop them, regardless.
Right.
Like you said, he left the military early. He had that passion already.
Yeah.
And regardless of what his family thought of him, it's something he wanted to do. And there's nothing when you have that dream and you set your eyes on it. No matter anybody can tell you, you're going to do it if you want to do it.
Yeah, he caught a lot of shit too because, well, not just from his family, but sponsors. He was reaching out to sponsors like, "Hey, this is what I'm trying to do," and like nobody really wanted to help him because they're like, "Who's this crazy fucker like trying to climb fucking 12 peaks in 6 months or whatever?"
Yeah, actually, if you think about it, of course, if he does it, it's great. But at the same time, you put your money on him,
yeah,
and he doesn't do it, and it's a backlash on the company. But the thing is, for that one company that actually wrote it out,
yeah,
they get this.
It wasn't many. He actually put his house up for mortgage. I'm saying the whole fucking thing.
But it doesn't matter. But the thing is, it's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, his passion.
When you're passionate for something, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get that thrill, that job done. It's like bull riders.
Right.
Bull riders will they'll pawn anything they can, so they can get into the next contest and see if they can win it.
Right.
There's anything in life that you put your heart into, nothing that you sacrifice, and then you actually complete the task. It's priceless because nobody can ever take it away from you. Of course, they can say you were crazy on the way up there, but once you reach that summit, hey, I did it.
Yeah.
You guys doubted me, but you know, what I mean, I did it.
Yeah, in the beginning, nobody's celebrating with you until you complete it. I heard this recently, but it's in the end when you did it, then people celebrate with you.
Of course.
But while you're in the
When you're in the drive, you know, what I mean, you're in the grind. Nobody wants to be with you because they think you're going to fail.
Yeah,
and everybody in the back of your mind, everybody in the back of their mind, they want you to fail because they don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
They don't think you have the tenacity to push forward and continue the.
That's one thing I've learned is a lot of people, and I've probably done it in the past too, with other people that kind of talk about certain things. I put my doubts on them, you know, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can't do it, so I don't think you can do it, you know, and it's fucked up, but I mean, that's just the way.
It's the reality of what people's perception are on other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
but that they put on themselves on somebody else. And, but yeah, like if they have the drive and the passion, it's probably like, it's probably hard to understand, but going back to hunting, like, yeah, that's just one of those things I want to learn and be really good at. And I know I'm not going to be good at first, but it's definitely something that, you know, I'm going to practice at. I'm trying to look at it as a marathon as opposed to like a sprint and try to learn everything right now because I know I'm not going to know everything. You know what I mean?
And you'll never know everything, you know what I mean? That's why I say you do as much research as you can. And then when you're out there, you try to practice what you've learned. Sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not. It all depends also on the region you're in, because sometimes you might be looking for a mule deer, and you're where you're at. There's no mule deer, and you know what I mean. Stuff that will work for a mule deer is not going to work for a whitetail, and stuff that works for a whitetail is not going to work for an axis deer or exotics. But one thing we do, I can actually say is that whitetail and hog and hondo, they like apple corn and orange corn. They like the flavor corn. But out in Rock Springs, where we go hunting at, you know, we tried the apple corn. They don't come after it. They'll leave it alone. The only ones that'll eat it were the hogs. But the exotics, you know, I mean, that goes out there. You got axes, you got fucking Catalina goat, you got bighorn, all kinds of stuff. Animals that go out there, you know, I mean, they'll eat the regular, but they won't touch the flavor one for whatever particular reason. So, you know, I mean, we also got to do our research and where we're hunting at.
Right. And how is hunting in Texas different from like, let's say like Montana or Colorado?
Was also the terrain, you know, the animal itself. You know, I mean, you got to realize what they like to eat and what they're accustomed to eating there.
Right. Or more specifically, I guess what my question was, I should have been more specific, was like here, like since in Texas everything's privatized, you have to go on either you own the land or you have to go on somebody else's land to hunt.
Well, not necessarily. There are public lands you can hunt from, but the only difference is on public lands. I could be wrong. You can't bait.
Oh, got you.
You can hunt, but you can't bait.
So, like, what would be a good example of that? Like,
in other words, if you go hunting on public lands, basically you would look for a highway, a trail where the animals are using, and you set yourself up on a tree stand, or a pop-up blind near in the area, and you get yourself in a good. You're shooting with the rifle at least 60 to 100 yards away. Make sure you got nothing where the bullet's going to travel and hit something else behind you. You always got to remember when you're shooting something where the bullet's going to travel, because you don't want to hit something on the other side or somebody on the other side. But if you're hunting with the bow, it's just good because you can put yourself 10 feet up in the air and you camel yourself out. You just wait. And you know, especially if you go in the morning, you'll see fresh tracks.
got you.
Especially if it rains, you know, I mean, you see some tracks out there, you see some mud that's been moved, then you go, okay, there might be a good spot. Set yourself up there and just wait.
Got you.
But you know, I mean, it's a difference when you hunt on a property where you set up your food plot, or you set up your feeder, and you'll set up a hog roller. A hog roller is basically a PVC pipe, a quarter-inch PVC pipe with some holes drilled into it. You cap it off with corn inside, stake it to the ground, and basically the hogs will use that to get the corn out. They'll spin it around, so it keeps them entertained for a while. At the same time,
So it's like a hog toy.
it's like a hog toy, basically.
Yeah.
But they know every time they spin it, corn comes out.
Yeah.
So, you know, say you're hunting and you fell asleep, and all of a sudden you hear the noise, the chain rattling, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? And you look, you see the hog trying to get it.
Got you.
So it gives you enough time actually to wake up from your slumber. Because last time when you go hunting, I mean, you end up dozing off, you end up because you relax. And you wake up and you're like, oh, God damn, there's a hog there. Let me get ready. So you get yourself set up and you
Right.
get the hog. It's kind of, you know what I mean? Like you say, it's a toy for them.
Right.
But also it helps you out because it's also like an alarm clock for you.
Exactly.
And, you know, I mean, it's the best of both worlds.
So I remembered, and that's pretty crazy. Because I was just thinking, like, how did somebody learn to make it? They just think like, probably someone on YouTube. You know, you learned it on YouTube or something.
Or probably somebody learned it from probably the granddad or something.
Yeah.
And it just got pushed and it got on YouTube.
It just kind of changed. Like at one day, like a while back, it was like fucking a piece of tin with corn in it. Now it's like a fucking PVC pipe.
Well, at first when we started, we didn't use a 4-inch pipe. You know, what I mean, what we did, we got I think it was a 20-gallon water container, plastic one. We put corn in there, and we used that for the beginning. And of course, it made a lot of noise, right? But at the same time, like, God damn, you know what I mean? These fucking big things, these things are swinging around. And then cousin Joe goes, "Hey man, I saw it's a PVC pipe, so we made that instead." And so we started using that instead of using that giant water container out there, because all you see is this blue container out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, even the landowner that we were hunting on goes, "What the hell is that?" And we told him, he's like, "Oh shit, okay."
Yeah.
You know, when we were hunting in Atascosa, I think my cousin Joe got maybe a 300-pound feral hog.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
I know those hogs get fucking big, man.
Hell yeah, man! I saw one the other day. I was driving out there, going towards Somerset. At first, I thought it was a big old trash bag in the middle of the road, man. And I was like, "What the hell?" It was like 3 trash bags.
Yeah.
There was one fucking hog crossing the road. I was like, "God damn!"
Damn.
I didn't know where to stop. Tried to hit it with my knife or
Yeah.
hit it with my truck, but then I realized I don't want to damage my truck. So.
Yeah. Take it for a ride.
Hell yeah.
Damn. So like going back to the Nepal, that's where I was going with it because you talked about the slam on the back of the of the deer blind, right? So he was talking about that so there was an incident where somebody got one of the hikers or something on Everest, like on one of the last hikes. Like nobody was going up because of the weather, but he was in a short window and he's a madman, man. Like, and he was just acclimated like no other. And I don't think it was just necessarily from Nepal, but I believe it was his mindset. They always talk about the mind as a powerful thing, and I truly believe that, especially with more recent experiences. But he was talking about how nobody wanted to go up and rescue this person, and from when he was in the military, he was like, nobody gets left behind. So he and his crew ended up going up, and they they got stuck there and had to stay overnight. He was giving the guy his air. And he went like, I want to say like hours without oxygen at this fucking insane high, altitude.
And the body's a crazy thing, man.
Yeah, and he said that he saw, and I don't know if that's through like hypoxia, which is like when you're at higher elevation, you fucking start hallucinating. Yeah. But he said he saw like a Yeti or something out there, like in the snow, and. So my
place to find it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. If you're gonna find it, that's exactly going to be at night. He's probably like, "What are you crazy fuckers doing out here?
What are you doing here?
You ain't got no damn oxygen. What's wrong with you?"
I didn't sign your permission slip to my way up here.
Right?
You were good at 8,000 feet. I don't know what you're doing at 12,000 now.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. Like think about that. Like if that's one of the reasons why. But yeah. So when he said that, that's what I thought about was like hallucination. But that wasn't Jaw's case.
No, it's never been the case. Matter of fact. We were in Atascosa, and actually, we were working on the ranch, and I don't know what we were doing behind the farmhouse. And all of a sudden, cousin Joe goes back, "Hey, check it out, Charlie." I'm like, "What?" At first, I thought he's fucking around.
Yeah.
There's a print. I go, "Print? What kind of print? Hog, deer?"
Yeah.
He goes, "No, a Bigfoot print." I go, "Shut the fuck up! You fucking full of shit."
Yeah.
So being, skeptical,
walking around with a casing and shit, put it in the ground.
Like, "Hey, what no,
yeah.
It doesn't work that way, but. Of course, we went over there, and it was over this big old telephone pole that the owner had back there, and it was just like it stepped over it, and it had rained 2 days prior, so the soil was soft.
Got you.
So the print left an indentation. You can see where some of the grass got squelched down. I'm like, what the hell? And the sad part about it, we were there, and we never thought the one thing to do is take a picture of it.
Damn. We
were so dumbfounded that we're like, oh shit! So we try to see
how big would you say it was? Like
if
you were to put your foot next to it.
Shit, I'm a size 11. That thing had to be about 16 to 17.
Damn,
it was a big foot, man. So we tried to actually follow it where we thought it might have gone,
right?
And it got into this real heavy brushed area, and we couldn't get in there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure with their thick coat, they can do what the hell they want. But I was like, man, we can't even get in there. How the hell did this thing get in there?
Yeah.
But I think there was actually about 5 steps that we saw, and then we lost it. And the funny part about it, like I said, it never dawned on us because I think the cell phones are coming down. They have the pictures on there. It never dawned on us to fucking take a picture. But the thing is, most of the time we never had our phones on us because during the summer, the phones get real hot and the battery dies real quick. So all we do is put them inside the truck and in the shade area. So we don't
Yeah,
break
that
it.
used to be a problem back in the day too. With
So we would always leave them in the truck in the shade area, so we wouldn't have to mess with it in case we fell down or broke it, whatever.
Right.
We'd have to deal with that kind of mess. But now, you know, I mean, we always have our cell phones. And there's one thing I always told my cousin Joey, and going, we actually need to come out here one night and just set up some fucking recording equipment and some GoPro cameras somewhere and just see what pops up. You know what I mean? Because you can pick up something on noise, you can hear.
Dude, you could just you could just take a cell phone, and then it's like one of these mics, and then just have it out there. You could probably buy like a little cheap one on Amazon and just directional.
I don't know. I'm saying this, bro. Those parabols or
parabolic
one. And just put them on two sides of the line itself and see what's coming up behind us or what's in front of us. Just to pick up the recording because some of the stuff you hear, you know what I mean, you're like, what the hell is that? And now out there in Rock Spring, there's a lot of rock. So you can always hear you always hear the rocks moving or the hooves hitting it, so you know an animal's coming out. But sometimes you only hear all you hear is the just the soft head. Mm-hmm. And you hear like there's no wind, all of a sudden you hear like a branch moving, like the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And it's real dark. Sometimes it's nice when it's a full moon, you don't need light. Even though we have night lights by the feeders, something comes out, motion to sensor, and they'll pop off. And you can see what's out there. Mostly, at nighttime, it's squirrels, possums, raccoons, whatever. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's like I always tell the guys, I go, what I want to do is actually put those light sensors around the trail, but actually have them greened out or red out. So when something goes by it, it sends it off so we can see the lights coming on, something's coming down our way. So we're not looking for stuff all the time, so we know it's coming. But it's kind of cheating at the same time, but... You know what I mean? I like to see something with my own eyes and go, oh, shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we've been out there looking at the feeder where we're hunting at, and we saw eyes above the feeder. And the feeder's...
I remember you telling me that.
The feeder's about 10 feet up in the air, maybe like 12 feet. And the eyes were about 3 feet over that.
Damn.
And we're like, what the hell is that? And Cousin Joe's the one that noticed it. And I'm like, he goes, you see it? And I went, at first I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And he goes, look at the eyes. And you can see the eye shine. And I was like, what the hell is that? And then they were there. Then they were gone. I go, well, it could have been an owl.
Yeah.
But to think there's an owl, you could hear it flap his wings because it was quiet.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you'll be out there and you're hearing noises, you're hearing all kind of animals. Then you get that eerie silence. And you start thinking, there's a bad horror movie going to start right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're waiting for fucking Jason to pop out of the music or something, but all of a sudden it gets real quiet. And all your senses kick on. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Mm-hmm. Is something going to pop out?
It's strange when that one sense, like, you know what I mean? Like when you feel like it's like you're fucking around, but then like something happens in the atmosphere and you're just like...
It triggers something else.
Yeah, that fear, like that primal fear kicks in and you're just like...
Anybody that says they're out there hunting in the middle of the night in the woods and they're not scared is a fool. Because you're always worried about something, but in the back of your mind...
It's the unknown, right?
It's the unknown. You know what I mean? I consider myself a crafty kind of guy. You know, I can defend myself, but walking out there in the middle of the night, sometimes you start second guessing yourself, like what the hell am I doing out there?
Yeah, because it's kind of like whenever I've like jumped into the ocean, you know what I mean, and just like you're at the bottom of the food chain. Well, I don't know about the bottom, but you're pretty damn low on it. You know what I mean? And it's just that fear. I remember one time we were fishing out in Florida. I was on the bow of the boat, and it was probably like I don't know. It was a pretty big boat. I mean, like 35, 40 foot. And
you were on a yacht.
No. Yeah, I was on a yacht. It's a yacht. No, it was I couldn't honestly tell you, but it was a nice boat. It was a buddy of ours. His name's Phil. And he took us out, and we were way out. Like, we couldn't see land. And I was at taking a break, we were fishing, bottom fishing or whatever, and then we started trolling later. But when we were bottom fishing, I took a break, and I was standing on the bow, and I just see like this big dark shadow, and I'm on the fucking boat, dude. You know what I mean? I'm not in the water, and when I saw it come across, it was a hammerhead shark. Probably like it looked to me like 12 to 14 feet long. Damn. I mean, it may have been like smaller because of the water or the shadow.
You said hammerhead. It could have been the megalodon, and then you'd been
dude.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, and then I'd be on fucking Sharknado. And no, dude, but I saw it and I got scared, dude. Like something in me was like that's that's a apex predator. And if I were to fall off this motherfucker for some reason and he knocks it over, you know what I mean? It was kind of like Jaws, you know, we're going to need a bigger boat kind of thing.
Yeah, you start thinking worst case scenario right off the bat.
Yeah, because you can't see land. You're out there, and it's just it's not something I expected, but it just like it made me feel small. So the same thing, like if especially in Texas, dude. Like I mean, there's they say that there's more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are in the wild in the world.
Yeah.
So if those motherfuckers get out. So I don't know. One of them sneaks out. Some guy gets drunk. He's showing off his tiger, and he gets away. And you're in a fucking deer blind, and there's a fucking tiger. You know what I mean? Like, so there's that unknown, right? Now you're gonna be fucking thinking about it. It better not be a fucking tiger. It better not be a tiger out here.
Well, the one thing you got to remember is like when you do go hunting,
Take tuna.
take some kibbles and bits now. You always have the eerie feeling. There's always mountain lions out there.
Yeah, those are bad motherfuckers too.
That's why when we go hunting, we always have a sidearm on us. We have our rifle, but we always have a sidearm. We always have a knife. Because like I said, I ain't gonna go down without a fight. I'll fucking cut, fucking do what I gotta do to survive.
And they jump on your head, like they go for your neck.
Yeah, especially if you're walking away from them. I don't know if this has any truth to it, but I heard it one time that if you put like a face mask on the back of your head and you're walking, it would make them think twice from attacking because they think you're looking at them. So I have a tendency now with all the face shields that come out recently. I've got one that's got a skull mask. It's got a skull face. Yeah. And I'll put that motherfucker on.
Is that why you wear that?
Yeah. Okay. I'll put it behind me, and it doesn't look like I'm looking behind me. I'm walking away. You know. What I mean? At the same time, I'm eerie. I'm on my P's and Q's walking because I know we're out in Rock Springs. We've seen paw prints. So there's a mountain lion out there.
Yeah, because if there's prey there, then there's gonna be mountain lions.
So and we've seen a couple of shots on the
especially carcasses and like
on the game cam.
Shit.
We've seen an ear of a mountain lion, so we know they're there.
I think you showed me that one.
Yeah. So you know, what I mean, there's always that feeling. There's something out there.
You're right.
So I try to do my best not to walk around at night, but sometimes we get drunk.
Mm-hmm.
We end up walking.
It happens.
Yeah, we end up walking, and next morning, like, oh shit, I fucking walked all the way down here. What the fuck's wrong with me?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we were at Sharkathon. The same group of guys I go hunting with.
Like a shark?
A Sharkathon down in Corpus.
Got you. So hunting?
Yeah. We're shark hunting.
Yeah.
So we're out there drinking, being necios like always, having a good time. And it's about midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And our lines are in the fucking water. And all of a sudden we got something on the line. So Cousin Joe goes out there about past the first sandbar. It's dark as shit.
Yeah, that's kind of dangerous.
I'm drinking out my ass. Hey, man, what you doing? I go like a dumbass out there with him. Then he's bringing it in. And we ain't got nothing. Like, oh, shit. And then we look back. Damn, we're far from the shore.
Yeah.
And it's murky as shit. It's dark as shit.
Yeah.
First thing I tell him, the fuck we doing in the water, bro? He goes, trying to catch a fish, motherfucker.
Anybody catch you?
I go, we're the bait, motherfucker. We need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And we're coming out. And people are like, what the fuck are these guys doing? We're coming out of the ocean all badass.
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, but you know what I mean? As long as you're having a good time, I say shit.
Meanwhile, like those same people that saw you walking out, I was like, yeah, we saw sea monsters. They're all fucked up.
We saw two ogres coming out.
With a shark. So like going back to like the archery, do you feel like a difference? Like, well, I mean, you kind of said it earlier. Like with archery, it's a little bit more satisfying when you kill an animal, rather than like a gun, right?
Yeah.
What's the probably like the furthest out like accurate you are like from like with a bow?
I think the most accurate I can get is about 40, maybe about 45 yards. And I've never pushed anything further than that.
Yeah. And you use a compound bow, right?
I use a compound bow. I have a Hoyt, and which is a brand, of course.
Right.
But I got that, and you know, what I mean, I'm pretty comfortable. I think I need to get it restrung because I think I've had those strings on there for over 4 years. So it's time to probably restring it. But the thing is that I don't think I would push 40.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of what was it a 70-pound?
No, the one I shoot with is I think it's a 40-pound draw.
Okay.
The one I actually shot the first boar with it actually was a 50-pound draw. Mm-hmm. And tell you the truth, I'm a big guy, and I consider myself a strong son of a bitch.
Right.
I couldn't pull that motherfucker when I first got it. It belonged to Cousin Frank. He lent it to me. It's because I was getting into it.
Right.
Oh my God, man! Trying to pull that motherfucker was like scary as shit. I'm like, fuck it. I'm sweating. I'm putting that back. My arm is shaking. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
and
you're
of
using
course, it's the first time I've ever done it, so I had to get used to it.
Right.
But I tell you what, when I shot the first time and I missed the hog, my adrenaline was so up that when I put another arrow and pulled back, I didn't have no hesitation. I didn't have no jerking. I pulled that son of a bitch all the way back, and I got ready to shoot again.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part about it is, like I said, when your adrenaline's up,
No, yeah.
you get crazy strength. You know what I'm saying? And I was surprised when I put it back. I was like, shit, I didn't even struggle like I did the first time.
Right. I say that often, like, adrenaline's a hell of a drug in the sense of, like, I'm kind of being funny with it, but...
No, but it's a natural drug. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah. And, like, this past weekend, I had a race in Waco, and I crashed on pretty hard on one of the stages. And when I went down, that shit hurt, dude. Like I've crashed a lot, and I usually pop back up most of the time because my adrenaline's pumping and I'm good to go. You know.
That's the reason we do call you Super Dave. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, he's been calling me that since I was a kid, doing stupid shit, jumping shit on my ET fucking 3-wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I crashed or whatever, like, you know, you're kind of on the ground and, like, you know, you're kind of doing a systems check, like, you know, everything online, you know, oh, that shit hurts, you know. And then I kind of get out of the way, let the other guy go by, and then I get down. Luckily, the medical was right there. They checked me out. They checked my leg and, you know, my elbow, and it was a good buddy of mine that was down there. But then I kind of started moving, but I was able to keep. So once I kind of accepted the idea, and, you know, and I also had confirmation from the medics, like, hey, structurally, you're good to go.
So initial shock was over with.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, I'm good. You know, functionally, like, you know, my bones are good, so I can keep moving. So I wanted to finish the race. I didn't want to, like, not finish it.
But you know what that's from, though, right?
What's that?
That's that inner athlete you've been doing all your life.
Yeah, man, exactly. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to get to. But that's like going through those, learning how to deal with pain. Because the first time you hit your shin as a kid, that shit hurt like a motherfucker, right?
Oh yeah, it still does now. Now that I'm older.
Yeah, and you don't hit it as much, yeah.
No, but that coffee table gets you on that goddamn toe. It's a whole different story.
Yeah. So yeah, when I finally got to the next stage, I ended up, you know, just doing it. I asked the guys, I was like, hey, let me just do this one, because we were like, before we were towing each other in, you know, the faster ones in front, and we kind of just chase each other. But this one, I was just like, it was a more technical stage. It was
But if you mind me asking, when you're doing that, it's because of drag or the wind drag, or what's that?
No, I mean,
I know the race cars do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, you would have to be pretty close for that to actually come into effect. Like road cyclists, they do that. You know,
that was the only reason to get my NASCAR poke in there.
Oh yeah, I get it. You're making another left turn. You know, but no, I you know what? I really try to get in that. I don't want to. I'll just say this and I'll get back to it. But damn, I'm already losing my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, you
do that thing.
You're good. You're good. So yeah, the next stage was very technical, and it's called Bat Cave, which is crazy. But anyways,
so when you're doing the Bat Cave, does that thought ever come to your head when you want to say, good citizen of Gotham, would you care to write with Batman?
Nah, at that point I was like trying to tell myself, like,
I'm the Joker.
Don't fucking crash again. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, I went down the stage and I ran it probably like the best, like at least that last part, whether it's really technical and chunky, I ran it best like that time. And I don't want to say I blame. I contributed to the adrenaline that was running, you know.
Of course.
It was just like I was dialed. After that, it was kind of like I was focused in. But before that, yeah. So to kind of get back to it, being an athlete, and that's kind of what like my handle is, or like, because there's like influencers, there's like creators, there's all these different things that they kind of put you in a box in. And mine is athlete, even though I talk about and do other shit, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But yeah, if I didn't play sports as a kid, there's no way that I would be able to, you know, overcome that amount of pain and keep moving. And, you know, plus the military and then life, you know, being a grown man, you know.
Well, not only that, growing up in our family as well, you know, I mean, you could fucking hit the ground, mom would say, did you catch it?
Yeah.
We can have your hands all scraped up, knees all scraped up, and you can get up.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say shit because you were afraid of mom whoop your ass.
Yeah, do it again, culero.
Ándale.
Yeah.
You're going to learn, cabrón. You're going to learn this
You're
time.
going to learn. No, yeah, we definitely got brought up with tough life lessons. And, like, yeah, man. Yeah. It was crazy, man. I mean, we could have a whole discussion on that. Maybe we will later.
Have
But
our own reality show on that one.
yeah. So speaking of like, how do you like? I know being an athlete is kind of helping in a lot of different ways. You know, growing up playing football and baseball, and I'm pretty sure you could say the same thing. Like, you know, with any type of injuries you sustain, like post, you know, post high school or whatever, like that kind of keeps you like pushing through. Like when, like I know you've had like back surgeries and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I've had back surgery, and now I'm in. Had knee surgery. Now I'm in store for a hip replacement down the road, within hopefully a couple of months. I'll tell you one thing, Doctor Lloyd Youngblood actually worked on Stone Cold Steve Austin, Chris Benoit, Lita, a couple of famous wrestlers back in the Attitude Era from WWE. He did the surgery on my back, and I never forget that one day I went and saw him. I had a 3:30 appointment. I didn't see that doctor until 11:45 at night. I thought I was on the show, Candy Camera. There's somebody was pranking my ass because it's a long ass wait for this doctor.
Yeah.
So I finally get back there, and he's looking at the MRI, and he's looking at the MRI, and all of a sudden he looks at me. He looks at the MRI again, looks at me. Then the third time he does, he looks at me again. I go, "What the hell's going on, doctor? Keep on looking at you. Keep on looking at me. What's going on? What do you see?" He goes, "I'm trying to figure out how the hell you still walking."
Damn.
I go, "Why do you say that?" He goes, "I'm looking at a 70-year-old man's back."
Damn.
And the 30.
I should didn't fucking switch to the
I go, "Are you sure those are mine?" I asked him that. I go, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Well, you're Carlos Garcia, right?" I go, "Yeah, that's my name."
Yeah.
He goes, "You need this surgery like tomorrow." I go, "I can't do it tomorrow." He goes, "Well, why not? You need it."
Yeah.
My mindset is, I got to get more sick time.
Got you.
I got to get things lined up in case I get. In the case, I always think worst case scenario,
Right?
Especially with the back, you know, because mom had back surgery too. So I remember her said back. So I was thinking worst case scenario, you know, in case something happens, I get paralyzed. I'm not gonna have all these things looming around where I can have no control of. Mm-hmm. So I try to get my house in order before the surgery.
Right.
So I actually push it off another month and a half, which is something stupid. Because the last day I worked, it hurt like hell. I could barely walk 10 feet without massive pain, stopping me completely. And what normally would take me, less than 5 minutes to get off the bus and go inside, drop off my stuff, and get in the truck and take off. It took me 30 minutes to get off the seat. Another 30 minutes to walk inside the yard and drop my stuff off. That's how much pain I was in.
Yeah.
And then I was having surgery the next day. So I worked a 16-hour shift. Mm-hmm. Knowing I was having surgery the next day because I knew I was going to move for the next month and a half after the surgery. And my wife's like, "What the hell's wrong with you? You're a crazy son of a bitch." I go, "No, I had to do it. I had to get more time." You know what I mean?
But that's the reality of it, right? Of our current, like, whatever, depending on your employer, and it varies from person, like employee to employee or employer.
Exactly, because I was trying to get the most sick time I could in case something would happen. I would have the extra time where my family is not worried about, "Oh, you're not getting paid no more.
Right.
There's no more money coming in." So I had to take care of that aspect of it, even though putting myself in more pain.
Right.
But it's the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? When you got raised with our family, it was always instilled that the man provides at all costs, regardless of pain. And then dad, you know what I mean? Dad, prime example, and mom, prime example. Always hurt, always going to work.
Yeah. Dad
would drink on the till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. He was up at 6 o'clock, go get back on that roof.
Dude, I've always, like, even to this day, like, because I know what it's like to drink all night and then have to wake up in the morning and PT or whatever. But
I also know what it is to actually drink all night and go help them on the roof.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times as well. And it ain't no joke, you know what I mean?
I've done it sober and that shit's hard.
Exactly. But, you know what I mean? I think what happens when you when you have a family like what we have, it instills something in you not to take the easy road.
Right.
You choose the hard road because you know the payoff is going to be there in the end. Even though you're thinking of worst case scenarios like I am. I always think worst case scenarios. So, you know what I mean? That's my mindset. And like prime example, I need this hip surgery like yesterday. Mm-hmm. And the doctor tells me, "Why don't you want to do it?" I go, "Well, I want to get all my sick leave in order. You know what I mean? I want to make sure all of my stuff's in order so in case something should happen.
Right.
I know, I mean, I'm covered." She goes, "That's understandable, but You know what I mean? Out of stage 4 arthritis, you're at a stage 3.5.
Damn.
I'm like, well, I don't know what stages are, but I'm always going to push the limit on it.
Right.
So, you know, I do see the doctor on the 16th, and we'll go from there. But, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? It's what your mindset is and what you're going to do just for your family. And, you know what I mean? Pain is temporary, the way I see it, because in the outrun, well, not in the outrun, but in the outlook of life, if the surgery goes well, which hopefully it does, I won't have to worry about pain for at least 20 to 30 years now, because that's the time life on a new hip.
Oh yeah.
And so if I get to 70, hey, shit, that's a plus. I'm happy I got to 50.
Yeah, I had somebody I worked with at my last base, and he had knees replacements before, but then it was kind of the same scenario where he had to replace one of them, but then the same kind of predicament that you were in. He was trying to save up whatever time or leave or whatever it was to prepare like his family or what have you. But while he was doing that, the other one went bad, and then so they replaced it, and then so it's just this constant like cat and mouse game, or this knee has to be replaced, and I think he's retired now. So
I hope he is.
Yeah, he was I think he was a paratrooper.
Those knees go out quick.
Yeah. So those hard falls and landings and stuff like that. But he was also in artillery, so he talked loud. But he was a good guy. He was a really good guy.
Did he have the 3M earplugs?
No, that shit didn't exist then.
Oh, okay.
They probably just had fucking pieces of cotton they were just stuffing in their ears. But yeah, man, it's I don't know, but you kind of alluded to something earlier. So like hunting, and it kind of provides. One thing I'm finding with mountain biking is being out in nature. And I think the way we all kind of rediscover it is in our own ways, but hunting is one of those pastimes that is like a primal pastime, not necessarily mountain biking, but that's kind of brought me back into being in nature. Because most veterans I speak with, they're like, fuck that, I spent 20 years in the fucking field, or whatever amount of years. That's a lot of time in the fucking field. But anyways, it's a long amount of time. They're like, I don't want to be out, in the fucking elements anymore, which I get, I understand. But at the same time, like when you kind of in it and it sucks or whatever, it's still benefiting you in one way or another, as far as like the greenery of nature, the animals and stuff like that. Yeah. Fast forward, if you kind of just go back and you just sit in your house all day, you know what I mean? It has a reverse effect where you kind of start getting you
start losing that muscle mass.
Yeah, you throw off your sleep because your circadian rhythm is getting thrown off. You're not being, because usually when you leave in the morning, the sun comes up, that kind of sets your clock, and when it goes down, it sets your clock. And so that gives your body like a natural process to like when to wake up and when to go to sleep.
Yeah, it works with most people that have 9-to-5 jobs, but
right.
Other people that work crazy shifts, like
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's the other side of it when you're working like a night shift or whatever.
Yeah, like firefighters, police guys.
Yeah.
And EMTs.
But that's why their sleep's so fucked up.
That's why they also get sick a lot, because they're not getting enough rest. Their body's out of.
Your immune system is compromised.
It's compromised because it's not getting the right amount of rest. Because I got sleep apnea, and the doctor tells me you need 7 hours of sleep every day.
Right.
I go, Doc, I'm lucky if I get 5. He go, well, why is that? I go, I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I have to pull the bus out at 3:20 in the morning. Now, mind you, I get off at 11:25, but I don't get back to the garage till about 12:30. And then being a union rep, I have to stay there to help represent union members.
Right.
Or I have to have meetings with the company. So, an average person's job is 8 to 10 hours a day. Being a union rep, being a bus operator the way I am, I'm looking sometimes 20-hour days. And that's on a heavy day. So, to say that everybody gets the right amount of sleep, it's a lie, because the only people that actually get good sleep are maybe just the people that stay at home.
And maybe not even them.
Not even them, because they got so much stuff on their mind, because, oh shit, what I got to worry about, other stuff. Not everybody can get a full amount of rest.
Right.
There's some people that are fortunate that can.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them.
Right. Yeah, and the majority of people like aren't. Like even people that think they're getting the right amount of rest, they're not.
None.
Because whether they're using because I used to do this too. I want to sleep good tonight, so I would drink or whatever, and then
It's
the
worse.
studies that shows you actually don't get into REM sleep, so that like compromises your sleep or stress, the foods you eat, whatever's on your mind, stressors or money or financial or relationship issues. So there's like a number of different things. Even if somebody fucking was a millionaire and and
They still got problems.
yeah, like if they just stayed home and that's all they did and drank, or not even drank. Let's say they even had a good diet, but they never left the house. They just kind of stayed there. Their sleep would even be affected even with medication.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the struggle of, I don't know. I feel like the human body needs struggle to actually be happy to a certain extent. Resistance. That's probably a better word.
Yeah, they need resistance because without resistance, you're not using your muscles. You're not using everything that you're supposed to, like eyes, skin, everything.
Right, all your senses.
Because you're just being dormant, and when a body goes dormant, you start losing muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
You start losing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And if you're not coherent, you know what I mean, keeping your mind active, you start developing early cases of Alzheimer's or dementia, depending on your
your DNA makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things I found. Like when I retired, like most people, kind of trying to figure out like what I was going to do next. And one of the things that I wanted to do didn't end up happening, unfortunately. So I just kind of, transitioned into something else.
Well, being a musician is hard, right?
Yes, I know.
I'm messing with you.
David Blaine, that motherfucker, took my job.
That damn David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. What am I supposed to do now?
He made my magician shit disappear, motherfucker. No, but yeah, it's just... So I kind of just, like shifting, kind of going with the flow. But I'm glad I'm where I'm at right now because, when I started mountain biking, that kind of brought me out. It started giving me that physical activity again. It gave me back that healthy boost, that healthy ego boost.
Well, one thing I did notice when you did retire, and now that you've been mountain biking for a while, you got leaner and you developed more muscle. But then again, I don't know, because you're crashing on the ground, you're getting yourself up. But
yeah, it's a different kind of resistance. Yeah.
It's Murphy's Law. It's Murphy's Law.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens that way too, because sometimes you'll crash, and then like, especially like if you maybe hit your head or something, like you're a little bit more like fumbly after that. Yeah, but that's one thing I noticed.
As everybody says, and has been the saying for years that I've heard, the hardest thing about falling down is getting back up.
Yeah.
That's
and then keep going.
And that's in life and too in general.
Yeah, and that's one thing I mean, if anything, my nickname is Crash. Like that's one thing it's taught me is like how to get back up, how to manage pain, and like how to learn from it. And I feel like each crash has like taught me something and made me a better rider.
Well, if it's not teaching you something, you need to get out.
Yeah, no shit, right? Or stop riding, stop crashing, start wearing a fucking bubble suit. But
I do have one in order for you on Amazon.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, need just sitting here. But one of the things that I kind of, there's that you talked about, like, and that's what the human body does. It's a very efficient organism, and it will start shutting down things. Like if you're not using your vision, it starts kind of going away. If you're not using your muscles, it atrophies. There's kind of a theory out there that's like, why people feel like we're aliens, like in the future. Is because they have the eyes, they got bigger because they're in space. They're smaller because they're atrophied. In space, there's no gravity. So
well, anybody actually that think that they can actually define an alien species exoskeleton is kind of baffling. Why?
Because it's an exoskeleton?
Well, no, it's not so much the exoskeleton. To actually think they know the alien body is baffling, because we can all speculate until you have an alien body.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's just speculation.
Oh yeah, of course it's speculation, but for some people to go in depth, this is why, you know what I mean? We can all sit here and what if all fucking goddamn day without actually having the physical specimen in front of you and actually doing the scientific studies. How do you really know?
I don't know, but it's fun to talk about.
Oh, it's fun to talk about.
Especially all this shit in the news nowadays.
I lived in Roswell for half a year, and now I went back this past year just to show my family what's all about. Of course, my 17-year-old son, he's like, I'm here for what?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not even entertaining for him.
Yeah.
But during the time when we were growing up, it was one thing to hear an alien, and then a crash there in Roswell in the 1940s, whatever.
Yeah.
to be so close, you know, I mean, go check it out. Of course, and, you know, I mean, the whole town's pretty cool. Checking it out, I think I recommend anybody go out there just check it out, just to get it out of the way because it's pretty cool.
I kind of partly regret when I was driving back from Oregon, I drove near Roswell. Like I could have like detoured maybe 5 miles and went through it, but I should have, but I didn't.
You should have. You could have gone to the McDonald's. They got aliens in McDonald's.
Oh really?
Even the Taco Bell, everything's down there. It's got aliens. Mostly.
Dude, that's what was weird. I was when I was driving to Oregon, I ended up talking to a buddy of mine on the phone, and he was like, "Which way are you going through Nevada?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm fucking going through." I was telling him what highway. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna go through you're gonna go through by Area 51," and like the way my brain processed that is process it through all these filters because, you know, being in the military or what have you, and then you have like clearances, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my paranoia or whatever, but I was like, man, can I drive by there? Can I, you know, I don't, you know, will I get stopped? And they're not very rational if you think about it, because if there's a highway, then you can drive through it.
Well, being in the military, you have these protocols where you know you can
right.
do what you can do, but knowing what you can basically pick up on the internet.
Right.
You can actually drive up to the gate. You just can't go in the gate.
I wouldn't even like fucking search it because I didn't want it in my search engine. Like shit like that, like, you know, like when WikiLeaks came out and all that shit came out, we were told like, if you look it up, you're going to be in trouble, pretty much.
Well, that's why nowadays you can actually get a VPN.
Yeah,
to protect yourself from that.
Yeah, that shit don't matter.
Not that I'm pushing.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah, doing your sponsorship.
Not that I have one, but in case somebody's hearing,
yeah.
you know, I mean, I'm willing to sponsor anything.
Yeah, but
if I get sponsored, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't even like search it up, especially on like a government computer or what have you. But when I drove by there, you could see it off in the distance. It was a good ways away, maybe like 25 miles, but you could still see like the structure. It looks like a base. That's what it looks like. Every other fucking base you see, except further away from the perimeter. But right across the street, right, there's like a huge fucking like billboard with an arrow pointing in like Area 51, like this way, and there's like a whole like, you know, industry around it, like, you know,
it's a big
stores. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of conspiracy theorists go out there just to actually film stuff, and then of course a helicopter could be coming out and it's just got one red light. Oh, that's a UFO. Look at it. Yeah. I don't hear no noises, but you know what I mean, you probably hear the noise in the background, but
yeah. That's crazy, but yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything or nothing. I just kind of drove. It was during the day, but still, it was pretty bananas to see, you know, and with so much like, you know, advertisement that it's there, like they're probably ain't shit there anymore.
It's
all
commercialized, dude. But then like everything, you know, I mean, everything gets commercialized. Like I didn't realize until about a year ago or 2 years ago, they have a Bigfoot festival somewhere up north. Yeah, I'm like, damn. I'd like to go there. Just to go check it out.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy to go. I know, like when I was in Oregon, they have I mean, it's not the same thing, but it was a Shakespeare festival. There was a pretty big like thing every year. That it's like,
well, I always like to get my Hamlet on, so that'd be a good thing to go.
Do it in a Bigfoot costume.
There you
to
go.
Be or not to be?
That is a question.
Yeah, but yeah, it was that was pretty wild. Like being in Oregon, that was I mean, it was cool.
I think that was almost like a soul-searching adventure for you. Going by yourself out there.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I kind of went with no plan. Like,
yeah, I know, because I talked to you and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to go out there. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably like one of the good things, but the bad things about me is at the same time.
Yeah, because you didn't tell us exactly what highway you were taking. You just said you were going. I go, how are you going over there? He goes, I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I go, I hope you don't come and go help him out because I don't know where the fuck he's at.
Yeah. And, dude.
And the sad part about it, I actually went on the Atlas and I started looking because I do have an old Atlas. I am that old.
No, I had one in the back seat.
Yeah, so I am that old. I am still old school in case
I got you.
But I was looking at it, I go, he could go this way, he could go this way. But there's this other road he could take. I go, God damn. I go, I hope you don't call me in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to try to
Dude, I'm glad I took the Atlas with me because when I went through northern Nevada and northern California, no, it was Nevada and like southern Utah, dude. It was not Utah. Northern Nevada was desolate, dude. There wasn't like no fucking cell phone reception. It was beautiful, but it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's when you know you're in God's country.
Yeah, there was like nothing, man. It was like if I got stuck out here, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? And then the year before that, I was kind of a soul searching thing. I went to Colorado, to Carbondale, and the same thing. Like I drove through. The way it took me was through. It was taking me through Aspen, but I had to go. It wasn't taking the main highway like through Denver or nothing. It was going through like the mountains. So I was like through this back country. It was beautiful,
of course.
but at the same time, it was. You know, it comes to your mind like if I get stuck out here. I mean, luckily I brought a sleeping bag with me. I had a mat. I had everything where I could camp. I had food and shit. But still, like if you get stuck out there, and I was in the Mazda, a 2006 Mazda. You know what I mean? Not the newest car in the world, but hey, man, she did good. We went through the mountains at night.
Mazda, if you're hearing, he needs a new car.
Yeah, shit. Nowadays, I could probably get double what it's worth the way used cars are fucking being sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always hear those gun commercials. Like, we'll buy a used car. Whatever.
Maybe take it in and see what happens.
Yeah, no, they'll probably I don't know, maybe. But anyways, but yeah, it was that's one of the things that I noticed was like there are still parts of the United States that are very like remote and desolate and kind of, I don't want to say untouched, but
some are untouched.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see there, and then on the way back, I went to Utah, and that was cool too. I went to the Salt Flats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I wanted to stop, but the sun was setting. I was supposed to like stay at a place, and I wanted to get there for check-in. So, but I definitely want to go back. But Oregon was definitely. I stayed in a hostel, which was, yeah, because
I've seen the movie. Good things never
yeah,
came out of it.
it was, dude. It was. I mean, I had my own room. But it was quite the experience because you always had people coming through. And my first week there, I was a little tripped out because, you know, people would come in at late hours and there was a lot of rumbling and it was like a fucking bear was in the kitchen or something. And I was just like I was like, maybe I shouldn't fucking be in here. You know what I mean?
Like being a bachelor pad all over.
Yeah. So it was definitely strange because there, what was in my mind was everything's legal there. Like, everything. I don't know if
now,
you could.
You say everything. Are we talking about prostitution as well? Or, I'm joking, folks. I'm joking.
I think so. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't look.
I didn't go down the red light district.
I'm like, that's called Tinder. Yeah. No, but like it was everything. Everything's legal there in the sense of like recreational drugs and stuff like that. Oh. And so you could go to a dispensary and get like pot or whatever. And or cannabis, whatever.
Well, unfortunately, I have to wait 5 years for that one.
There you go. Hey, man, might help out your hip though.
Yeah,
I know a guy. Anyways, but yeah, it was. So in my mind, I was like, "Is there like a fucking like a crack dispensary? You know, is there like a guy on crack outside the fucking room, like just destroying shit? Because that's what it sounded like. But I guess it was just two young drunk guys. Because when I got up to school in the morning, they were like passed out in the bed in the fucking kitchen. It looked like a bear went through there, looking for food or whatever. But other than that, one night it was a cool spot, man. It was pretty chill. I got to talk to people like passing through. Like there was some German guys, young guys. Cool. Yeah, and they were like, I was like, where are you guys coming from? They're like, because I could tell their accent. So they said Germany, and I was like talking to them, like what part and blah blah blah, and then I was like, what are you doing in the States? Like, are you just like just making conversation? And he was just like, yeah, we're on our way to a commune. I was like, a commune? He was like, yeah, there's a commune in Northern Oregon. There's like some lady from, because I kind of like was like, I was telling him what I felt Oregon felt like to me. Like, well, the part of Oregon that I was in, which was Ashland, it was like a hippie-ish environment. That's actually where I learned I'm probably a hippie. Because a lot of the food that they had in the place...
Just because you smoke dope doesn't mean you're actually a hippie, right?
No.
I've seen Cheech and Chong too. Doesn't make me a hippie.
That's part of it. But that's not like the food that was there, like all the organic food and stuff that I buy, that was all there. Like the incense and all that stuff. I mean, I've been doing that for a long time. We kind of grew up with that stuff. But all that stuff was there. And I was like, am I a fucking hippie?
No, you just felt comfortable.
I mean, there's anything wrong with it, but it was just like,
wrong with it, of course.
Yeah, but
I eat organic stuff too.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, deer.
Okay, it's free range.
It is free range. So my point was like, I was telling the guy, I was like, I feel like this is like a hippie community, and he was like, yeah, me too, And he's like, I was like, where are you headed to? He's like, commune. I was like, oh, what's there? They actually have an Instagram page. I wanted to go look them up. I was like, damn, I'm fucking moving up with the times.
God damn.
But
Everything is nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, they're not Amish, so they have electricity. I would assume.
Hey, don't outdo the Amish.
I'm not knocking the Amish, man.
Got some
hey,
good
man.
shit going on too.
Hey, dude, if you can live without electricity and be sufficient, there's something to that. But this place was definitely. Like they were telling me about the commune, and they were saying like a person from like a group of people. Because that's what I was saying. I was like, it feels like the hippie movement, like left San Francisco, and like a lot of them kind of just stayed here. You know what I mean? And he was like, that's funny you say that because the commune we're going to, there was a lady, like the eldest lady there. She's like I don't want to say the leader, but she's like the person in like that people look to in the commune.
Shaman.
Yeah, I guess so. But she was from the hippie movement, and she moved up there, and then like started the place, and it's been around for like 50 years or some crazy shit like that. So I was like, well, how does it work? Like he's like, well, we're invited for like a week. Well, no, we can go for a week. We got to get with them, and then if they like us, like within the 7 days or 7 to 10 days, they feel get it whatever, like they like the character, they feel like you'll be a good fit, then they invite you to stay, and you have to stay at least for a year, I think, just like, and you just work on the commune. And
do you have to sacrifice an animal to get in there?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I didn't ask for an application form.
Well, I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, it's okay. It's written in blood somewhere.
Yeah, and then when I wasn't flying,
Just joking, folks. I don't know.
no, me personally, I'm kind of like I think I would, if I could check it out for a little bit and kind of know people there.
I would go to a nudist colony. You know, I feel more.
I mean,
comfortable there.
maybe.
Not that I got the perfect body, but hey, shit, you know, I'm the seventh wonder of the world for one reason or another.
So like one of the things that I not noticed, but there's more than one of these around. Like when I was flying to Hawaii, I was talking to a girl that was next to me on the plane, and she was doing the same thing. She was flying to Hawaii, and she was going to work on. It wasn't she didn't say a commune. She said it was like a farm. But you could work there, and as long as you work in there, you eat for free, and you stay there, and you get like the weekends off and go around Hawaii and stuff like that. It's like a work.
It's like a trade off.
Yeah. Which I kind of dig because
it's pretty cool though. Because actually, if you think about it, you go work for a week, and then you got the weekend off, and you're in Hawaii. Shit, how long can you go?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
I don't know what kind of work you're doing, but you know what I mean. Shit.
Yeah, I was thinking about looking it up. Well, just to check it out, because that'd be something cool to do. Just kind of go over there and
go retire and then go out there for a year. My wife might not like it, but shit,
yeah,
she needs a break.
Yeah, you can send back some potatoes or whatever you're fucking growing. Pineapples,
some loco or something. Shit.
Yeah, some pineapples.
Upside down.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of party guy. Estimate.
I got your estimation.
Estimation.
Yeah, it's late. I get it.
And I've been up since 2:00 this morning too. So.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah,
get you a shot of espresso or something.
Well, I got my shot of Dos Equis, but I think it's relaxing me more.
Yeah, yeah. And that Chinese candy give you Chinese ice.
Yeah, as long as I can get the monkey pox, I'm good.
The monkey pox. Yeah, people need to stop sleeping with monkeys, man.
I'm telling you, man. Ever since Planet of the Apes came out, dude, that bestiality started coming into effect, man.
That's
the original Planet of the Apes. We'll start. We'll go all the way back to the '70s, which all started.
Yeah, Charlton Heston.
If Charlton Heston wanted to kiss that gorilla, we'd never have this problem.
Yeah. Hey, man. You can't stop love.
It is what it is, bro.
Love will always conquer.
That's what they say.
So, what other types of hunting have you tried?
Well, stalking, basically, where you're actually.
I'm talking about like deer and stuff. Yeah.
Well, basically, just deer and.
Yeah.
Deer and boar.
Deer and boar, because that's pretty much primarily what's here, right?
Yeah, and well, we do have a couple of times we have some sheep that come in the property.
Can you shoot the sheep?
Hell yeah, Catalinas, bighorn, which is a ram.
Oh,
they come in. Then you got some pronghorn and stuff like that. Anything. We're surrounded by game ranches, and the good part about that, when a bad rainstorm hits and the gates go down, the suckers get out. Hey, it's free game, baby.
Yeah. So the law allows it then. Or the hunting laws. Well, because it's private land, right?
Yeah, because it's private land, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like different rules.
And sometimes if it's got a tag on it, I really don't try to shoot it because I know it's tagged for a reason.
Right.
But if it ain't got no tag and it's out there, I'll take it out if I can.
Yeah.
If it's not going against, of course, the game warden rules. which out there is pretty good because out there we don't have that much whitetail.
It's crazy how much authority game wardens have. They have like more authority than
If
like
I would have
FBI.
known, if I would have known
believe.
now what the game warden was all about when I was coming up,
Yeah,
I would have gone on that profession instead.
that was one thing I was looking at doing when I got out was
It's the best job in the
either a
world.
park ranger or game warden.
Game warden is the best job in the world, man. You can actually basically make your own hours. You do what you gotta do. They pay for your truck. You keep your gear up in par. You gotta meet your qualifications every year
Right.
for your gun and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful job. You're in the country all day. You're
That'd
in
be
the community.
that'd be cool to have get on the podcast as somebody like a game warden.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, find out a little bit more about them. I know they have a show. I haven't seen it. I think that's a lie. I think I've seen a couple of them.
I think it's called Texas Law.
Texas Law. They go around like they bust people like trying to do illegal shit and stuff.
Well, they're not busting people. They're actually just enforcing what the law is. You know, you got people that overfish fisheries, oysters, you know, all kinds of fish. There's a certain amount of fish you can get in the time of the year. And if you overlap on them, they'll fine you on it. They keep everything intact just to preserve.
So they're just
what
trying
we
to
have.
regulate the species.
Exactly, kind of conserve. That's why you can only hunt deer at a certain time, whitetail from dusk to dawn.
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that a lot of people don't know about hunters is that they're huge conservationists too.
Exactly.
Because
and if you actually think about it, we're the biggest conservationists, and also we pay. You got to remember what kind of money that we put into the Texas wildlife, because we got to pay for our we got to pay for our fishing license. You got to pay for your hunting license. Then you got to pay for all the hunting gear. You know, you get actually you're conserving the state. At the same time, it's also providing meat for you. At the same time, you're also following the laws that they actually give you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go off script and they bust you on, they're going to fine you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's your job as a hunter to know what you're hunting, what you can hunt, and what are the legal limits, what you can do. Because once you push the envelope with them, you know, they might give you a break if it's in between.
Right.
But if you're way past, you know, they got no problem writing a ticket because that's their job.
Yeah, because at the very basis, like you're taking more
Then
than you should or than you need.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there has to be some type of balance to that.
Yeah, because if you overhunt the species, next year you won't be able to hunt as much.
Right.
So you always have to take in consideration the fact that do you want to take that animal or do you want it for something else?
Do you guys like check each other? Like
all the time.
Like if you go to like I don't know.
Well, it all depends what region we're in. If we're going into a different region, say Atascosa is different than say Real County.
Mm-hmm.
And now if you're shooting a white-tailed deer in Atascosa, I think this year was 13 inches spread on the buck. So you have to take consideration on that.
When you say the spread, you're talking about from
ear to ear has to be 13 inches.
Okay,
from
so
the antlers.
it's pretty much measuring the size of the skull.
Yeah, so it basically tells you basically the years. How old is it?
Okay.
If it's young, you keep it there, good, survive another year.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too short, you're taking the animal ahead of its time, and then you can get fined for it.
Is there any deer that there is no limit on?
Spikes.
Spikes?
Yeah, spikes.
Why is that?
Spikes because they're what's the word they use?
Are they invasive or?
It's not they're invasive. They're not a true breed of the whitetail because they're not a real buck. There's something genetically wrong, so they want you to take it out.
Huh. But there's a lot of them?
There's quite a bit, you know what I mean? But it's a rarity to find when you see a lot of bucks around.
So they don't want them to be breeding with the
Yeah.
whitetail.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
you. Yeah.
And like javelinas, you can only hunt two. I think it's 2 per day, per season, or something like that. You know, of course, they give you the hunter's guide every year. You get your license on what you can and can't do.
Right.
But out there where I'm at, it's a lot of exotics. There's no conservation on them because they're wild. They're not exclusively native to Texas.
So, like, how long does it? Like, I know I think I've asked you this before, and I just asked another hunter this question about, like, when you catch a hog and it has fleas on it or like ticks and stuff, like how you're supposed to clean it. Is there like what's the proper way and what's the the quick way or like?
I've heard stories, and I was actually with one guy. I think we're down in Carrizo Springs, and he did something that just surprised the hell out of me. I was laughing the whole time he did it. He got a hog. I think it was maybe about 120-pound hog for a hog, and had a lot of ticks on there. He put it in a trash bag, and then he put a bomb in there, a flea bomb,
Yeah,
and he let it sit in there. And then
that's one method I've heard.
And I was looking at him like, "What the hell are you doing?"
And that's what somebody I spoke to recently. There was a hunter. I can't remember who it is, but they said the same thing.
Yeah, he said, he goes, I'm killing the fleas, I'm killing the ticks. I'm like, okay.
You're fumigating it.
If you've been getting it, but doesn't that damage me? Nah, because you haven't cut it open yet. I'm like, okay.
Now, is there some truth to that? Like,
I have no idea. You know, I mean, I didn't eat any of the meat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now because I was skeptic on it. Of course, he was offering me a quarter.
So how do you do it?
To me, I just skin that sucker off with the ticks and try to get them off of me as much as I can.
Yeah.
And I get after I'm done, I try to put alcohol on me, try to kill them off of me as quick as I
Like
can.
fleas too?
Just in case you get an infection or something because of the ticks.
Yeah. You should maybe you should take some of those big gloves. Well, it'd be too hard to work with it.
Yeah, not only that, I use also shaving cream. Because
You shave your arms first?
Yeah, shave my arms before I cut the pig, yeah. Actually, I want to be proper, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to be prickly to the pig, you know.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all the process of it.
Yeah.
No, but supposedly it knocks off the blood quicker and the fleas also because they can't move. They get stuck to
the shaving cream. So you put the shaving cream on and then you do it?
No, after.
Oh, I was gonna say that would be kind of hard to be slipping around and shit.
You're cutting it up, whatever, you know. Of course, you're
Yeah.
getting fleas and ticks on you, but at the same time, you're talking, you're knocking them off.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, I always try to take an extra change of clothes, and the clothes I have on, I put in a bag and I tie it up.
Yeah.
Then I try to put some flea powder in there before I even take it out of my house.
Right.
Just because of the ticks and the fleas on there.
Yeah. How long would you say you've been hunting?
I'm going to say for the last probably 15, 18 years.
Yeah. Is there anything that you kind of came into it thinking you knew and then, I don't know, you learned something afterwards?
I never try to say I know a lot.
Right.
Because every time you go, you always learn something new. It's always a learning experience. And then I always watch, like I said, a lot of stuff on TV, documentaries, hunting shows. And I try to use a lot of stuff they do as well. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to learn. You can never stop learning, which is the best thing. You can always get better what you're doing.
Right.
You never want to get worse because if you're getting worse, there's no reason to go.
Right. And then preparing like a hog, is there certain like steps you need to do when you prepare the meat, minus the raid and stuff?
Just basically don't try to cut your fingers. You know what I mean? Cut the best. The way I learned is basically I cut off the bone and then I started learning certain different techniques you can learn as you're preparing it off the bone, how to cut into it, what you look for.
And you're the one that what's the right word? It's not butcher? Is it butcher? You're the one that cleans and
it goes between me and cousin Joe.
Okay.
Because we'll harvest the animal, we'll quarter it or whatever. We'll get all the meat that we want. We'll put it in the ice box. And then he'll take what he's going to take, and I'll take what I take. And then I let it sit there for a couple of days or a day. I let it sit in ice, and then I just start cutting up on it, getting what I need.
Yeah.
Basically, what I end up doing a lot with the hog meat, I make a caldo with it.
Oh, nice.
Nice vegetable soup and nice no caldo, you know, which is always good. Where I try to make carnitas.
Yeah. That axis there you had brought me that one time. That was really good. Even the kids liked it, even though I didn't tell them what it was.
Well, that's the whole point. You always tell them afterwards, and later on in life. Well,
they wanted seconds though. Yeah,
that's
it
the
was
best
good.
part.
I made it with cornbread. I made like a chili with it. It was good, man. I remember I took you some. I think I don't know if you were sick. Yeah, man, it was good, man. But but thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. It was
fun.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. Maybe next time we'll re-engage and hopefully we'll have if we end up going hunting and I take something down or shoot it or whatever, have something else to kind of talk about.
If we go next time, you can set up your GoPro camera and it's towards where we're hunting at, and
yeah, man, that'd be cool.
We have one inside. We can be talking crazy, whatever, and then see what pops up or see what pops on.
Yeah, definitely.
Or see what comes knocking on the door.
Yeah, that would be cool, man. Hopefully, nothing knocking on the door, but yeah.
Hey, you can never know. You can never tell when you're out there, bro.
Go away. Ring the doorbell.
How do you Jehovah's Witnesses find me?
Yeah, man. But
somebody knocking on the door right in the woods. Have you heard of the Watchtower? What the hell?
Not today. But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely probably do this again, man. Talk about something different, something a little crazier.
Yeah, this was fun.
All right, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.